So I've been thinking about how to handle the settings, the user settings for bodies that are in the water. And I am having a really hard time figuring out how to do this in a nice way that is where you can present the data in a nice fashion to the user, but also represent the data in an efficient manner in C++. And I'm having a hard time getting to a point that I'm happy with. So the main issue I'm having right now is that, or the solution I went with to begin with, was to just store the settings, the user settings, in like a map that maps the submerged body to the settings, and then just pull from that settings whenever I iterate the water scene. However, when the user then changes their settings, there needs to be some efficient manner of updating the settings in the water scene. So the way that the settings are presented to the user is through the separate water physics settings component. So this component would then need to tell the water physics scene that, hey, these settings have changed. The problem here could of course be that this component doesn't really know anything about the water physics scene. It could also be that the body is in multiple water physics scenes, so it would need to notify all of them at the same time. So the only realistic way of doing that would be to have some form of multicast delegate that the water physics component could listen to. I don't like that solution for a few different reasons. Mainly just because of the weird dependencies it creates. And if I'm gonna have this kind of dependency, I am thinking about why not just have the water physics scene reach into the component and pull the settings immediately? Like, why even bother having this event system that lets everything know that things have changed? So then that would mean that instead of storing the settings or the user settings here as they are, you would instead store a reference to the water physics component. And this, I think, would be more clean. However, I am also thinking about whether or not you want to create that dependency to the water physics component or the water physics settings component. Because, well, I want the users to be able to write their own water volumes. So for example, I have my simple box now, but you might want to have like an ocean, you might make a pond, you might make something that I don't even know you could make. And in that case, I want the user to be able to specify the water physics settings on their own. And maybe they don't even want to use the component. I don't know at this stage. So right now I am allowing you to also set the settings once you add the actor to the water physics. And you can do the same while adding individual primitives or individual physics bodies. Now this of course means that you need to keep track of the settings of all of those bodies and update them whenever you feel like they need to be changed. However, that means that there is a lot of complexity and things that you need to keep track of just to do your own custom water physics. And that might not be desirable either. So I'm trying to weigh the idea of requiring you to use the water physics settings component and then make it a bit easier to set up and use, if you want to make your own custom volumes. Or if I want to go for the system where it's more generic, you can just apply any struct with the water physics settings, and in that way make your own system that might be more flexible but harder to set up. Still don't know what way is the best way here.